Bum, 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 bum. Yo, I should be live. Hopefully this works. Bloop, bloop. Hopefully the chat is working. Touch wood. Test 2. Perfect. Bring. Ba, ba, ba. I'm just replying to a bunch of comments, which I think I'm just going to continue. Ali, how's it going? What's the weather like where you are? How's your day been? Should be wrapping up soon, right? Barakota, how's it going? McPuffin. How was your time with Unboxy? Unboxy, how's it going? Born. Wow, so many manga readers here. How was everyone's weekend? Did everybody enjoy Weekly Shonen Jump this week if they read it? If not, what manga did you read? Right Stuff Summer Sale starts the 28th. That's so far away. That's 1/3 of the summer gone. Are you back in the US of A? How long was you here for? A couple of weeks? Did you enjoy Forbidden Planet? That is the question. Did my puffin look after you? Yes, unfortunately. You can't stay here forever. Although it's summer now, I don't think the weather was great while you were here in comparison to where at home in the US. All right, let me change up. There we go. Yeah, Weekly Shonen Jump this week was crazy. There's going to be so much changing for One Piece. All the new manga that started up. It's crazy. 12 days for Forbidden Planet was nice. I'm glad you guys had a good time. That's good. You're very cruel. I believe her. Ali, do I read sports manga? Honestly, I haven't read a lot of sports manga. I would love to, though. But they have to be sports that I at least know a little bit of. So no baseball. I'm happy for football or soccer, depending on what you called it. Badminton, tennis, that kind of thing. Prince of Tennis I would love to read. Although I've watched some of it, not a lot. One thing I would love to read would be Slam Dunk, which I heard is extremely legendary. What's 192 steps? What's that? Just finish off replying to a bunch of comments. Pink is really good. Great Park Station in London. You should have Green Park Station. You should have taken her to Covent Garden and taking up the stairs there. I think, how many steps are in Covent Garden? I think it's 300, isn't it? Or it might be 100 something as well. Actually, no, I think it's 170, so it's less than what you took her on. Christopher, how's it going? New sub? Thank you. That's much appreciated. How's your day going? How's your evening? Morning? Night? Yes, Spawn, Haikyuu. That was the other one I was thinking of. Everyone keeps harping on about Haikyuu. It's quite long. I think that's what's probably putting me off in saying that I could just read it on the Shonen Jump app. But I feel like I don't enjoy a series as much when I read it digitally in comparison to reading it physically. Maybe I'll stick up that one as well. Is Real the one with the guy, the dude, the main character is in a wheelchair? Is that the one? Or am I just making that up? I've just looked up some of the panels and there's people in weird wheelchairs playing basketball. So I presume so. Yeah, it is. There's so many. For me though, luckily, I've just got up to 100% on my manga collection. So everything that I had last year when I unboxed my collection, which had been in storage for 3 years, I'm now completely up to date. Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball, Blue Exorcist, Golden Kamuy, Promised Neverland, everything that I had, One Piece, Black Lagoon, everything that I was missing volumes on, I've completely got up to date. So now I'm just looking for new manga recommendations. So I will probably stick a bunch of sports manga on there as well. The wheelchair, is it completely? Are they all just in wheelchairs? Is that the whole thing? Is it just like following one particular character, or is it like a whole team that you follow? Did anybody else continue Ruri Dragon last week? I think it's still just as good. The conversations are super quick. Blue Lock. No, I don't think it's out yet. Hopefully soon. Yeah, first volume comes out tomorrow, apparently. So maybe I'll. Oh, and saying that, in the UK at the moment we have train strikes, so I'm unable to get out of my town that I live in. I don't live in the middle of nowhere, but to get into like the city, it's like 40 minutes by train and maybe a couple of hours by car. So yeah, I can't really get out this weekend. Maybe next weekend I'll take a look. But Blue Lock seems promising. I've only heard good things online. All right, so today I actually have a few packages that I want to open. I also have, I want to do my reading log I did for last week. And what's the time now? It's nearly 9 o'clock here. It's so late. I had to rush, had to go and see my mum. I had to go give her a bike, take her to my nan's. And then I had to eat something, I had to get a Burger King. Otherwise, I would have finished a lot earlier than I would have been on a lot earlier than I actually am now. But if I have time, I might do a marbles race for new manga to buy. If not today, then maybe next week. All right. There we go. And you, and where are we? I want to show off. I don't know where it is, but there is this amazing looking. Look, check out this Chainsaw Man box set that I found on Twitter. I don't know where. I don't know if this is. It's definitely not English. What logo is this? Why can't I zoom in? I think it's French. I'm sure it's French. I'm upset that other countries get better artwork than we do. This box set would sell like hotcakes if it came out in English. It looks so beautiful. It's got power on the side, Denji, Makima, Naki. Everybody's there, and it's got some beautiful artwork as well, colored artwork as well. Is it German? Ah, I thought it was French. Yeah, it looks beautiful. I would love it to come out like this. And to be fair, the spines, which are mostly all black, has like 50% white, maybe 30% black, and then the rest of it is just small colors. This looks nice. I think I would be quite happy just to have the same box set. Although I can't imagine we'll get anything like this. It's crazy that they got it so early. Normally it's years before people get box sets. But yeah, it looks crazy. Crazy good. Am I going to read part two digitally? Yeah, that's the other thing that got announced, didn't it? 13th of July, part two. I will probably read it digitally, in all honesty. It will probably be a while before we get volume one. What is there for? So I don't know if they'll do the first chapter, if it will be, it's part two of Chainsaw Man, whether or not it will be called Chainsaw Man Part Two or just a continuation of Chainsaw Man. They might not do the first volume, the first chapter with 50 pages. They might just continue like 19 pages. In which case, the first volume will be around 9, 10 chapters in one volume. So the first volume will probably come out in, I would say, January in Japan. So we probably wouldn't get it until probably Christmas 2023, if not early 2024. I don't think I could wait that long, in all honesty. I'm going to have to read it physically, digitally. At least the first couple of chapters. Whether or not I'll continue, I don't know. I recently stopped reading Kaiju number 8 weekly, for no particular reason, because I'm really enjoying it. I just really love the physical aspect. Sitting down with my phone, I don't know, maybe because I'm on my phone all day with work and everything. I just really want that disconnect from it. And whenever I start reading digitally, I don't know, it's just draining. But yeah, I'll probably be reading part two. What's also crazy is that Fujimoto, they also announced that he is doing another one shot, which is crazy because he literally just done one a month ago, 2 months ago now. Goodbye, Eerie, which is really good. Although I think for this, he's just doing the art. Not the art, he's just doing the story. Somebody else is doing the art, which will be quite interesting to see if his storytelling. I feel like his manga is so compelling because it's the mix between the story itself and then the art. It'll be interesting to see if this new artist, I don't know actually who it is, but it'd be interesting to see if they it has the same feel to it. Oh, and they also announced that they're going to be doing his first few one shots as well. Viz Media did a big announcement last week, Wednesday, I think it was. They announced a bunch of titles, and one of them was, I presume this is 2 volumes. Yeah, 2 short story manga collections. So we'll just get a load of his work from when he was 17 to 21 and then 22 to 26. I'm looking forward to this. He really is just a new age manga artist that I think will just stick around for years to come. He'll just have so many great stories under his belt. You're going to try and stick to physical. The thing is with that, you're going to have to stay away from all kinds of spoilers. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see his newer works because even the manga of Bleach, he had a couple of series. Oh, I think he had one series, but he had like several one shots. He had Zombie Powder, which was 4 volumes, and inside those volumes include his one shots as well. The guy who did Naruto as well, he had a couple of one shots. I think he had Mario. He did Mario whilst he was doing Naruto. That was pretty good. Actually, no, he redid Mario. I think he did Mario before he started Naruto, and then I think just before or just after Naruto finished, he redrew Mario again for some reason. But it's always nice to see where the mangaka have come from. I would love to. I haven't read it myself. I would love to read Romance Dawn and Wanted by Oda. I think to have a collection of someone's work from beginning to end and see like their creative journey, not just from their art style, but just from creating the story itself, I think is just amazing. Let me get rid of this one. I was also looking, what I think is really interesting is the sales. This is the weekly sales from Oricon. I follow a couple of accounts on Twitter that post this news, but the interesting part is the sales for Spy Family. Since the anime have come out, it's constantly selling 40,000 plus, 30,000 plus every single week. It's just ridiculous. It's been, I think, 5, 6, 7 weeks now. 7 weeks since the anime come out. What are we, episode 8 now? I think. 11. No. It is 11. That's crazy. It's been over 2 months, nearly 3 months, and it's still selling, hitting over a million. What did this beforehand? It was My Dress Up Darling. My Dress Up Darling sold a ridiculous amounts as well. But if you look at the top 20, every single volume of Spy Family is here. It's volume 9 as well, which was the newest one that just came out in Japan. There's volume 9, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, all in the top 20. And if you look at the top 30, you've got number 1, which has been out for ages, that stole 2 million. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just amazing how many people don't pick up a series, and then when the anime starts, everyone just flocks towards it. Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, prime examples as well from previous years. Are they doing the same for Spy X Family as well? The guy who did, or I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, who did a Spy Family. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I know some people have like creator shelves in their collection, or just they'll collect every work from a particular mangaka. But yeah, I think it's great. It's just nice to kind of see a whole like history of one person. Blue Lock is selling really well as well in Japan. This is volume 19, which is currently nearly 160,000 units. And in the last 7 days, last week, it still sold over 10,000, 13,000, which is like the average. 10,000 units is what most manga need to hit, like the benchmark to determine if the publisher is going to keep continuing. Not always. Some sell more and still flop or get cancelled. What's interesting is that Tokyo Revengers, volume 27, came out not too long ago. And the sales for that are starting to decline. When that came out last year, everybody flocked to purchase every volume of Tokyo Revengers. But now the later volumes, the last, I think, 4 or 5 volumes, have not really been hitting the million mark. So a lot of people, obviously, not continuing it. And the same with Blue Period as well. Blue Period started to have a slow decline in its sales as well. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be cancelled or anything. I just think a lot of people jump on the hype and then realize they don't enjoy the series so much. But yeah, I thought it was super interesting about Chainsaw Man having his older manga being published and doing another one shot. It's crazy. He's going to be here for a long time, I think. I mentioned My Dress Up Darling as well. That they initially, I think their sale figures were around 100,000 a volume. Now you're looking at probably closer to nearly a million a volume. I think they're at 7.5 million copies over 9 volumes, which is crazy. Anime really does have an impact. Kiki, how's it going? How's your evening been? What I think is really interesting is that I feel like although the anime makes it more popular, there's clearly a lot more people that watch anime. So the people that watch anime, the populace is all the way up here. The people who read the manga, there's less of us, but I still think we're just as passionate. And then you have the people who actually illegally read the scanlations. They're the people that read it earlier than us. And then obviously you've got the Japanese as well. You're good? I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Hay fever is killing me, though. I've just recently started taking spray again up my nose. Otherwise, it's like a waterfall, constantly flowing. Horrible. But yeah, I don't think I'll be on much longer. I did start a little bit later than normal. But you came at the right time because I have some manga to unbox. So I'm going to quickly do this. What do I think of the Viz Media announcements? Yeah, I was just talking about that. I thought they were very interesting. I'm looking forward to Chainsaw Man's, um, Fujimoto's new works, or his older works in 2 volumes, which will be interesting. Because I was saying I like the idea of having the collective works of one manga creator. You know, Taro Matsumoto, Inoue Asano, they've got so many works under their belt, and I think Fujimoto is going to be the new, not maybe the new one of them, but he's just going to be one of those mangaka where he'll just keep releasing stories. As long as his brain keeps pumping them out, he'll just keep producing amazing work. But yeah, I'm really excited. Chojin X as well, by the mangaka of Tokyo Ghoul. I'm looking forward to that. I read the first several chapters of that, which comes out monthly. I've probably read around the first 2 volumes, and it's really interesting. I just love his art style. It's really grimy and gritty. One thing I was shocked about was the dude who created Hell's Paradise. His recent cancelled series in Shonen Jump, Ayashimon, that was a big surprise. Although some people knew that was going to be released. I think with the success of Hell's Paradise, people just assumed that Ayashimon it was destined for success, but it wasn't that great in the end. I think it had a similar issue like Red Hood, in the fact that it went through a training arc quite early and stayed there for a long time and just didn't pick up speed quick enough. It's very hard for battle shonen series nowadays. So that was a shock that got announced. Well, for some people, it was kind of obvious. Randy, how's it going? Dabbing it up. Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul is definitely it's got you. The guy who does Tokyo Ghoul has a unique art style, so I'm looking forward to that. And he's definitely got a thing for masks. That's clearly his fetish. But I'm not going to kink shame anybody, you know. There was another series. Let me just quickly look it up. Uh, Boys Abyss, releasing next year. The crazy thing is that Viz Media has done all these announcements, but said they're not going to be coming until next year. That's so far away. I mean, it's not as bad as video game companies that announce games as, oh yeah, this is in development, and 5 years later it's still being produced. But yeah, a year. That's so far away. And because we live in England, it could be a year and a half. But yeah, I'm excited. There's a couple of color pages as well. I'm just looking through the Twitter of Viz Media for Haikyuu and Demon Slayer. Do many people buy color pages? I mean, I've bought the ones for One Piece. But that's because I'm a big One Piece fan. I guess people who are huge Demon Slayer and Haikyuu fans will buy the color books, won't they? Was there anything you were particularly interested in? Oh, and the duo that did Death Note, Obata and the other dude. I can't remember his name now. I think Obata did the art for this the singing one. I haven't read it myself, although I'll probably maybe at some point. Randy, you're good. I'm glad. Yeah, it is a shame because that series could have been. They could have picked up something else, you know. But I think because it's cancelled, if you want to be scummy, I would say pick up a couple of volumes and stick them away. They'll release a select number and then they won't release it again. And then once it's out of print, everyone will want it and you can just sell them if you want to be that kind of scummy person. Okay, so this is the first package, but I know I did also order some house stuff. So I'm expecting some surface cleaner. I think this is just going to be one. There's only going to be one volume in here, I think. No, I think this is all just surface cleaner. It is. It's all surface cleaner and hay fever tablets. Second one. This is definitely a book. Finally, Blue Exorcist Volume 27. Now, the beginning of the series, they talk about Rin and how he is the son of Satan. I keep referring it to like Blue Exorcist is like the blue Naruto, but it's not because Naruto has a demon inside of him, whilst Rin is the son of a demon. So I guess it's different. But at the beginning, they talk about something called the Blue Knight, and in the last 4 or 5 volumes, last 4 or 5 volumes, we've gone through the experiences of the Blue Knight, and I think this kind of continues afterwards. I'm really not too sure how I feel about Yuki as a character now. I used to love him. He was always that cooler older brother character, kind of like how Sasuke is. You always have, or Bakugo from My Hero, the side character, or the second main character, the main character's rival, is always more attractive, always better looking, just physically more able, just better abilities. And yeah, and I feel like he's gone not downhill, but I think he's just lost his way, and I don't know how I feel about him anymore. But hopefully it picks up. I don't think this one's going to be going on for much longer. Hopefully it finishes on a good note. But I'm looking forward to continue reading this. Thinking like a true eBayer? Yeah. I mean, I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so that's kind of like my thing. Pick up cards that seem good or interesting, or you think aren't going to be printed for a long time, or are going to have limited printing, and then when people need them, you can sell them at a higher price. I don't do that with manga because I think everyone should have access to manga. Obviously, at some point, something's going to be out of stock, out of print at some point. Emma, wasn't there just one shoujo series that was announced? Yeah, I think there was just one shoujo series. I'm just looking now. Oh, this was another one. Helk. I watched a video, I think last year, by Scomboli, who does like loads of anime reviews and manga reviews. And one of his top 10 manga of all time was Helk, which wasn't licensed by anyone, I don't think, even online. Um, So this would be quite interesting. He said it was very, very good. Um, and I think it's quite, well, not long, long. Is it this one? Is this the one you're talking about? There's such a big uproar at the moment with the lack of new shoujo coming out. I mean, I don't have a tremendous amount. Actually, I lie. I have, I think, 3 shoujo series in my collection. But I've watched more shoujo anime than I own the manga of. You're gutted. Well, Vince did say that they were going to start announce it. They were going to announce more, and I think they do this every quarter, don't they? So maybe September we'll get another update. Yeah, I mean it's hard with shoujo because it's not always about love. But I don't know. I don't know what their idea is as to why they don't produce more. There's always that debate of it not being so popular, but I don't think that's always necessarily the case. There's clearly a market out there because most of the shoujo is impossible to find. I mean, I've been going Forbidden Planet for years, and I rarely see shoujo on the shelves. I recently went to Forbidden Planet a couple days ago. Well, last week Thursday, and they've just got a shelf dedicated to it. But it's all just old titles: My Little Monster, um, Cardcaptor Sakura, and Kami-sama, which most of them are all omnibuses, so they're the re-releases. Well, hopefully it comes out, and hopefully more are announced. Then people will be a little bit happier because it's not fair just to print out loads of shonen stuff, an action series. Okay, I think I have one more package. This one, annoyingly, is already half open. Look at that. Plop. Yes, I've got my egg detergent. They recycle the same titles, different versions. Yeah, I've seen several collection people who there's a few people I follow where they like to collect multiple copies of the same series. And yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura is one of them. Sailor Moon as well. There's so many editions of it. My I used to know someone who had the collection of the original run, and then my brother, my younger brother, he started collecting it. He's 14. He started collecting Sailor Moon, and he's got like the omnibus versions. And I know you've got like, if they're called the Eternal editions, which look absolutely stunning, by the way. But yeah, it's just crazy. But who's going to be buying them? Just obviously yourself. But yeah, I don't know. I presume the Eternal edition is going to be really expensive. Yeah, Born, you might be right. But I feel like I don't see anything by Tokyo Pop nowadays. Nothing new anyway. Everything I see from Tokyo Pop is just old, from like the early 2000s. There's a new pocket version. I can't keep up. There's so many versions. All right, I think this is my last package. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 7. This is what I thought was going to be with my surface cleaner, but it wasn't. Now, this actually finishes off my collection for Jujutsu Kaisen. So now as I mentioned earlier, I'm now 100% up to date with everything that I own, bar some of the new stuff that I picked up. So I've recently picked up Sweat and Soap. Geeky, that was a recommendation for you that I found, I think, a few months ago, and I managed to find the first couple of volumes. Witch Hat Atlia and Drifting Dragons, I think they're the only series at the moment that I'm behind on. Yeah, everything else I'm pretty much up to date on. Oh, and Hell's Paradise, but I don't include that. But yeah, so I'm now just really looking for new series to read. Actually, this is perfect because I'm going to finish volume 6 tonight, and I'll probably start volume 7 in the morning. Yeah, Tokyo Pop do a lot of BL, Yuri and Yaoi. I mentioned I went to Forbidden Planet a little while ago, a few days ago, and not only did they have a shelf for shoujo, which was great, but they also had a BL um, section as well, like BL Yaoi and Yuri section, which was cool. Although it was also integrated with the alphabetized A to Z manga as well. I think they had a section in the corner that was a little bit tucked away for 18 plus. Yeah, I saw you. I think I started following you last year sometime, and I heard you talk about it. And then I think it was December. I think you got the latest volume at the time, and you were just so giddy about it. I just had to know what was up. And you being the self-proclaimed queen of smut, I thought it was going to be a little bit saucy. You got a single rec for me? Haru's Curse. Oh, I've seen this one. I say I've seen this one. I've seen this in people's recommendations. It looks interesting. And Kodansha as well. Are they color pages? Kodansha love color pages. Wait. She dates her deceased sister's fiance. Okay, I'm in. Let me stick it on the list. That is 20 volumes. I could probably run off a marbles race, but I think I'll save that for next week because it's getting late. It's 9:30. It's nearly bedtime, guys. Oh, did she like it? Oh, good. I'll yeah, I've stuck in the list now. So if it doesn't win, then I'll probably pick it up sometime next week. I find with a lot of one shots, it's hard to find them in comic book stores, so I just have to order them online most of the time. I've been winning the marble race. All right, next week I will do a marbles race. Also, maybe not next week, but next month, I'm paying off my credit card. It's coming up to renewal, which means I'm gonna have to start paying interest on it. So before then, I need to wrap it up, and I'm getting a new credit card. And with that, I'm gonna buy a new shelf. I'm gonna buy this shelf from IKEA, which has 3 levels, so I can have 3 volume sets in front of one another, rather than it just being a single or double with a little space. It can have 3 volumes stacked in front of each other. So I've got the entirety of One Piece right here. So it's volumes 1 to, I think it's 40, and then it's 40 to 80, and then it's 80 to 99. So I'm going to get that again. And then with my credit card, I think I'll do a stream where I'll let viewers buy manga for me to fill up one whole shelf. They are the Billy bookcases from IKEA. I think it's £70, £80. It's very thick though. I think it's 60 centimeters. It's super deep. So if you had 2 books in front of each other, you'd have like this much space. Quite a substantial amount of space. Triple stacked, yeah. super deep. Well, I bought them because last year I got my manga out of storage, and I wanted them all on one bookshelf, which at the time I had I think 400 books. Now I'm reaching 700, and this holds around 750, not including anything like Vinland Saga, which obviously takes up more. You can see this is all Blue Exorcist and Dragon Ball Super, just standard Viz sizes. These are slightly bigger, the Viz Media ones, and Adventures of Dai. I've got Solomon up there as well. They take up far more space. But yeah, but I wanted it all on one shelf because my flat's not the biggest, and I don't have the most amount of space. But I'm going to get a second one and stick it here. Here. But yeah, I think I'll do a stream where I can, I'll just do a whole stream where we just buy loads of manga to fill up one whole shelf. And I'll buy anything. Andy, how's it going? Building a buy list? Yeah, I mean, I'm taking recommendations if you have any recommendations. The thing is, Geeky, it's so deep, like super deep. Is I can't imagine because of how many shelves you have. You have what? Eight shelves? Nine shelves? No, bookcases, sorry. Is it eight? 7 or 8 bookshelves? You have a lot. And I reckon it would just intrude more. You'd have hardly any space. Anything. I say anything within reason. I don't want to be spending $400, £400 on like a series of, I don't know, 10 books. It has to be relatively in print, but pretty much I'll be open to anything. So for context, it's probably around 100 volumes, depending on the size. But I will have a cap. I'll have a cap of a certain amount. And then once we reach it, then we reach it. Dick Fight Island. I looked at that over the my Forbidden Planet trip, and yeah, I don't know. I hear it's really funny. It's less sexual. It's obviously extremely sexual, from what I understand, but I hear it's very comical. That's your rec. I'll stick on the list. All right, Geeky, it's on the list. Natsume Ono books are mainly one shots. What do they have? They have a lot of unique stuff. All right. Well, it's on the list, and to be honest, I think it's relatively new. Like, there's only a couple of volumes out. I'll stick on the list. If it doesn't win, I've stuck it on my list for next week when I do a marbles race. And if it wins, it wins. If not, then I'll probably just pick one up anyway. Because everything now, my Amazon back orders, I think I only have like 3 or 4 volumes coming out next month, and then maybe 1 or 2 the month after. Everything else I'm up to date on, so I'm just looking for new stuff now. All right. So just quickly, before I go, I just want to quickly go over the manga that I read last week. Then I want to update my spreadsheet. A couple of weeks ago, I said I started Sweet Blue Flowers, which is a nice little cute uh, Yuri series. The girls are young. I think they're 14 to 16. The first volume was very hard to keep on top of because it kind of just threw you in to the characters and their relationships. And there was so many new names being thrown at me. And I don't know about everybody else, but sometimes Japanese names are quite hard to remember. They're not as easy as English, obviously, English being my native language. Um, but the first volume I struggled with, but the second volume is actually a lot more drama orientated, and it's actually been really interesting. I don't know how. There's two more volumes after this. I don't know how much more drama they could stack into it, but I'm looking forward to actually finishing it. After finishing the first volume, I wasn't particularly interested, but I'll continue this one. The author also recently just, I think what is the name of it? Something about adults. How to adult? We are only adults, or something like that. I think a lot of her stuff is just Yuri based. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading volume 3 and 4, and it's okay for now. And I finally caught up to Golden Kamuy. Although it's nothing like Dick Fight Island, there's definitely a lot of dicks in this. A lot of beefy men, a lot of homosexuality is just in the atmosphere all the time. Without them directly saying it, I feel like they all love each other in more ways than one. But this has everything that I love about manga. It has action, it has love, it has cooking. There's not hyper-sexual tension. It's mainly used for comical use because most of the sexual tension is around most of the guys being topless and just being manly. And yeah, I just love it. The historical aspect is really interesting. Although it may not all be extremely factual, um, it's interesting to see what Japan was like before well, it became what it is today. So yeah, I've read volumes 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. I thought this actually finished and concluded at 28 volumes, but I think volume 30 has just come out in Japan. Although it's finished, I think it's going to be ending on maybe 32 volumes. But yeah, so I'm super glad I caught up to date with this. The anime, I got into the series because of the anime, but after looking at some clips of some of my favorite moments in the series, I don't think the anime does it justice. It cuts out so much more of the story. The animation isn't great. Um, yeah, and just the manga panels are just so much more impactful, I think. Arakawa Under the Bridge. Let me stick that one also on my list. All right, so that puts me to 22 recommendations. And then I just got caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen. I've read volumes 1, 2 is somewhere over there on the floor, and 3 and 4 is also on the floor. I watched the anime first, probably like most people, and then I decided to continue just reading the manga. Now, I think the anime does a good job at bringing you in with its flashy animation, fast storytelling, and although it has the fast storytelling, it's sometimes a little bit confusing. After reading the first 3 volumes, it throws you into the concept of its like powers. So um, the idea of cursed energy and cursed tools and cursed corpses. It throws a lot of terminology out that doesn't, and they don't really explain too much straight away. They start. I think I'm on volume 6 now, and only now am I starting to understand how it works again after not watching the series for, was it 2 years? It came out 2018, I think 19. It's been a few years, but yeah, I think this is going to be the standard for modern day action shonen series. The fast paced action, the story constantly moving. I think if you're gonna lag the story from the get go, as I keep saying, like Red Hood and Ayashimon, you're just destined to fail. Because I think when it comes to most genres, it's going to be compared to everything. If you come up with a magical girl series, it's going to be compared to Sailor Moon. You know, if you come up with an action series, it's going to be compared to Naruto and One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen. You know, when I remember when My Hero came out, everyone compared it to Naruto and Bleach and everything that came before it. But these are now the modern day battle shonen series. And I feel like anything that comes out new, fresh, if it's not anything close to this, if it's not sprinting like Usain Bolt from the get go, I don't think it's going to last very long. But in saying that, sometimes the the concepts and the power techniques that they use can be a little bit confusing. Sometimes they can be very simple. But this was good. I think the characters are really interesting. What I love about this, I've mentioned a few times before, is that the female characters are so strong and so sexy and so powerful, not just physically, but just in their attitude. And they don't need to show any skin outside of their neck, face, and hands. And I think that's great. I love a strong, independent woman, and I wish they could come to life and beat me up in real life. How about Sazen and Comic Girl? Let me check that one. Because not only I'll put pretty much anything into my recommendation, but I also want to make sure that it is relatively easy to pick up. If a volume's like 5 times its original value, I probably won't stick to it. Oh, looks like there's an omnibus version at the moment. That looks pretty reasonable. I'll stick it on the list. How many volumes are there? Is it just the one? It's on there. All right, so that is everything that I've read all last week. Golden Kamuy, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Sweet Blue Flowers. By the end of June, which is the month we're currently in, I would have hopefully finished Sweet Blue Flowers and brought myself up to date with Jujutsu Kaisen. I have how many more days? 10 days. So I could definitely read all that. I'll probably also read, I don't know, maybe the last volume of Taiyo Matsumoto. And maybe Alice in Borderland. Just one full color? Sweet. Well, I've stuck it on the list, so if it wins, it wins. I would prefer single volumes because you can just buy them, read them, and if I don't like it, I can, you know, get rid of it with relative ease. But yeah, if I get any long series, then I get long series. I've got Twin Star Exorcist in my list, and I know they just re-released volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but they're still difficult to find the rest of them. Nakozu, hello. How's it going? Gotta get Goodnight Pum Pum on the shelf. I've seen that several times when going to the comic book store. And at the time, I was prioritizing getting everything up to date. And now that it is, I think the next time I see it, I'll start picking it up. But it's funny, it's such a popular series. I never see every volume. It's always volume 1 and nothing else. Volume 3 and volume 7. It's never all of them. Not too bad? Oh, good. I'm glad. Jujutsu's power system gets insane. It really does. I think when it initially starts, you understand the concept of cursed energy and how it's used. We've all read power series before. We know how it works. You know, whether it's devil fruit, whether it's ki inside of you, whatever you want to call it. We understand. You just name it something different. We can vaguely understand. You don't even have to explain how it works. And that's the other thing. It doesn't explain how cursed energy works, how you control it, where it comes from. It might, I can't remember if it does later on. But yeah, at the moment, where it currently is in the series with the culling games, they're just introducing new characters after new characters. One guy can control pachinko machines. One guy just speaks in manga terms and he's killing people. One guy is just, I just don't get it. I just can't keep on top of things. I think a few chapters ago, they just had 3 pages of data dumping. It was like a light novel for 3 pages. There's so much information about this pachinko machine guy. It was just crazy. But yeah, it gets really confusing, especially when they start talking about domains. They never really explain how that works until like a few chapters, a few volumes after the first couple. But I guess this way they can go straight into the action. Don't tell people how it works, just show them. And then at a later date, you can explain it. That's what I mean. I feel like modern day shonen titles now are just going to be like this. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you. This is what I have on my recommendations at the moment. So I have Town of Pigs, Mason Ikoku, Twin Star Exorcist, Girl from the Other Side, although the single volumes have been coming back into stock as of late. I was going to wait for the 3-in-1s, but I don't think I will anymore. Drifting Classrooms, Batman is still on here, Born, Blue Fag, Even Though We're Adults. Oh, that was it. Even Though We're Adults was also by the same person who did Sweet Blue Flowers. Hunter x Hunter. This is another one. I might even take this one off because I noticed a lot of the volumes for Hunter x Hunter were coming back into stock, especially the early volumes and the mid volumes. But then by the time I noticed that, they then announced that Hunter x Hunter was going to be coming back again. And then they started dwindling off the shelves again. Everyone started picking up the first few volumes. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to pick up this one. I might just have to read it online. Bunny Girl Senpai, Blue Giant, Kakegurui. This is another one that I might have to take out because it's so out of stock. The first few volumes. Downfall. I think Downfall and Ujirushi are both one-shots. Bungo Stray Dogs, Pleasure and Corruption, Cross Game. So this is just from today's stream. Cross Game, Real, Haikyuu, Haru's Curse, Dick Fight, Arakawa Under the Bridge, Sazan and Comic Girl, and then Goodnight Pun Pun. Although Goodnight Pun Pun is always on the back of my mind. Have I got Flowers of Evil? Yes. I say yes, but no. I've got the first 3 volumes down there, and I think now they have 3-in-1s, and I've been seeing a lot. You can get volume 2, 3, and 4 in omnibus, so I might collect those and maybe pick up the first one if I can be bothered. I remember, so I can't remember what I was looking at, but I was scrolling through Google through manga panels. I don't know, I was searching for a specific type of manga panel, and then randomly on my search there was this image, and I knew what it was. It was mostly black. I would say it was 95% black, but in the middle there was a white line, and just before the white lines met in the middle, it kind of went up, and there was a little bulge here, a black silhouette bulge, and I instantly knew what it was. And from that, I clicked on it. I had to find out what it was, and I wasn't ready. That was the first time that I got introduced to, what is his name? Is it Shinzo Shini? Is that his name? Is it Shinzo? Shuzu Oshimi. Yeah, so the little black bulge looked like it was going into this divot. Not divot, like, I don't know what you call it. Yeah. And it was a little bit moist, to say the least. You could probably picture if you've read it, I think you probably know what the panel looks like. So I had to read it. I had to know what it was about. And then before I knew it, I was dreading continue reading, but it was so interesting, so engaging. Um, I've heard some people say it's about bullying, but I guess it's less bullying and more teasing, if anything. More peer pressure than bullying, I would say. But yeah, so I've got the first three volumes, and then I didn't pick it up because I think I read probably towards the end. I never finished it. I was buying loads of other stuff, and then by the time I got my manga back out again, every single volume is gone. So I'll pick up the omnibuses at some point. Gundam Thunderbolt. See, I'm not a big fan of mecha. I don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan of robots. In saying that, I would like to have my own Gunpla. I would love to make one. Man, there's so many series. Well, these are all on my list. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, listen, it was Flowers of Evil I was describing. Yeah, the panel, I would love to show you the panel, but although I am a small channel, the YouTube copyright system and guidelines is the algorithm is very smart. It can detect porn, even language, whether it be live or in privated videos. So I'd rather not show it on screen. But yeah, it was definitely a sexual image that I saw and I instantly knew what it was. But yeah, I definitely didn't know what I was in for when I purchased the first few volumes. Okie doke. I think it is time to end the stream. You just bought them all digitally? Enjoy. It is a wonderful story. I haven't finished it. I'm probably maybe 2 volumes behind. But from what I read, I loved every second of it. But that is it for me from the stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for your recommendations, for chilling with me, talking about Shonen Jump, talking about the new Viz releases. Next week, I would like to try and stream every Monday, but it's very difficult at the moment. But Mondays will probably be the best days for me. But next week, I'll be doing a marbles race where I'll be randomly selecting your recommendations and I'll stick them in the marble race. Whichever one wins, I'll purchase the first probably couple of volumes, depending on how many wins. And yeah, I think maybe the month after, I won't talk about that right now. But as always, when I end a stream, I always like to guide you to my latest video. I had a little trip to my local comic book store. I bunked off work so I could do some manga shopping. And yeah, this is just a nice little 5-minute vlog that I did. Nothing too interesting. I thought it was pretty cool. Feel free to give it a click. If you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. But if you want to, click on it, leave it on in the background, go make yourself some dinner. And by the time you come back, it would have been finished. Give it a like if you can. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I hope you enjoyed the video if you watch it. If not, no big deal. If you don't want to click on it, just don't click on it. But it's very late for me. I must read the rest of Jujutsu Kaisen, so I want to try and finish it before the end of the month. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.